Jamaica is still a developing country, and about 20% of the people are involved in agriculture in some way. Any food that can't be grown locally is imported, which makes those items very expensive. Many Jamaican citizens rely on crops and livestock produced on their own land as a source of food and income. Farming is rarely easy, regardless of the environment. Earlier efforts to introduce greenhouse farming in Jamaica demonstrated the potential.
When I discovered how enthusiastic the farmers were, I decided to take them to an area to the eastern side of St. Ann by the name of Walker's Wood, where we had a cluster of greenhouses. When the guys went and when they saw how well those farmers over there were doing, they came back and decided that each man is going to build a house for himself. We built 3 houses and we gave it to 6 of our farmers, 2 persons to a house.
It really didn't take much for me to commit to at least the first pilot project of 3 greenhouses. And having done those 3, what pushed it beyond the initial 3 was not their enthusiasm now, but the enthusiasm of the farmers. We saw the output and we saw how they embraced it and they went full speed ahead. So we were quite open to continue to supporting the project.
It did so well that the participants became pretty pleased with the results. So we got them going. But greenhouse construction can be pretty expensive.
Right now there are 3 main materials that we use to construct greenhouses. We use metals, treated wood, and lumber. But the metals and the treated wood very expensive, and we have that as a situation where some farmers could not participate in the program because of the high cost involved.
A 3,000-foot greenhouse, which is 100 by 30 feet, can run up to 1.5 million Jamaican dollars.
We decided that we'd try to reduce the cost as much as possible. So we decided that the hills around us, we would go into them and cut hardwood lumbers to do the construction.
We're very happy to see what Noranda Bauxite has been doing with respect to reducing the costs to build these structures. They have embraced it in a very simple way, one way that can be easily adopted by the ordinary farmer, and that is by using indigenous material in the form of wood.
We actually realized that when the woods are reaped at a certain time, the longevity of the wood is at its best. So the local farmers informed us that reaping the wood during the first phase of the moon ensure that insects would not affect the wood, and the life of the wood, these local wood, would be as much as the treated lumber and the metals. So therefore, that's a very important part for us, where the local materials are being used and the lifespan of the greenhouse has not changed from using the imported material. Most farmers now are able to reap the wood and construct greenhouses very, very fast.
The construction cost went down 50%. Now, to further reduce the cost of the construction, we decided that the farmers would work as a team, helping each other to construct the house. Instead of going out to get a carpenter or some plumbers or things like that to do the houses, we ourselves would do the construction. And we found that it worked well.
Over a relatively short period of time, some really exciting things started to happen with the construction of these greenhouses.
At present, we have constructed 42 houses. This is within a 2-year period. And we have 5 more houses under construction.
For greenhouses to be successful, using new technology of drip irrigation was critical.
For us to succeed in production, water harvesting is a must.
Using mined-out pits to harvest rainwater, I think it's something that we will have to pursue even more, because trucking or piping of water is very expensive. And if you can have God-given water there and managing it through solar pumps and drip irrigation, it's a formula for success.
A second idea came up that that we should introduce it into the schools.
So in taking it to the schools, I think you're doing two things. One, you're getting a new set of people who could be interested in agriculture. And two, you're getting the kids who can then go home to help their parents in the greenhouse aspects.
This greenhouse was made possible after I had a discussion with the president of Noranda here in Jamaica, Mrs. Pansy Johnson. And I spoke to her about the possibility of her sponsoring a greenhouse like this for the community.
The position that Pansy took was a master stroke.
If you understand Noranda's community program, it's heavily geared towards education. I also sit on several school boards, so it was really a very easy fit.
We have now this very, I would say, elaborate greenhouse, which under normal circumstances we could not afford.
To date, we have donated 5 greenhouses to schools in our area, and the plan is that we're going to do 3 additional schools each year.
We have approximately 700 to 800 students in the program, and they are doing excellently well.
Recently, a principal told me that he has now gotten renewed interest from his students in doing agriculture. They're seeing it as new technology, different type of agriculture, so they're embracing it a lot more.
This has taken it to another level where they can apply their chemistry, their physics, their biology. And you find that more students are showing an interest in doing agriculture now.
As more and more greenhouses are constructed, farmers can grow crops year-round. This increases the agricultural output many times over traditional methods that yield only 2 crops a year. That means that people are not only able to put better food on the table for their families, they're able to sell some of the produce in the markets and put extra money in their pockets. This leads to a better life for the farmers going forward.
In greenhouses in Jamaica, we have realized some tenfolds in terms of production of the traditional crops that we do grow in greenhouses. Other crops are being slowly introduced into greenhouses, and quite similarly, they are giving us much better yields than we're getting from open field.
With the introduction of greenhouse, the farmers will be involved in all year production. So we can plan our marketing strategies better, and we can supply our markets on a continuous basis.
From where I'm coming from and the help that the first one give me, the things that I do for help myself with the first one, I realize that having another second one, I will go further.
I know that the greenhouse approach to farming in Jamaica has tremendous future to deal with the food situation. Because we can and should be producing so much more food and not be importing any of this.
The entire idea of this greenhouse is a win-win for everybody concerned. It's certainly a win from the farmers, and when you talk to them, you get the excitement and the appreciation coming out of them. It's a win for us because it really complements our reclamation.
The future of the greenhouse program in Jamaica is extremely bright. I think it will help to push Jamaica agricultural sector to new heights.